Kingpins Exchange, and today I'm going to walk you through how to upload materials and create a book on the Material Exchange Denim platform. This will in turn populate the Kingpins interface, the Kingpins Exchange interface that you are seeing here. So first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to log in. You can see here just the visits so far. Obviously, it's not a very impressive number because um, I haven't really made this public. Next, I'm going to click on the materials. I'm going to go to my ebooks. I've created several ebooks just as samples, but today we're going to create a new one. So I click on the create icon here. Now this is going to be where you're going to put the general info about the book. Now you can do books in several ways. Either you can use it, a book to organize a concept, like for example, super stretch denim. You could have all your super stretch denims underneath that. Or if you wanted to make a special book for a customer, a certain brand, you could also put all qualities under that book. So the first thing we're going to do, and I'm going to do it under, I'm going to organize this book or this concept under a certain performance attribute, which will be X4J stretch. So all my fabrics that are containing X4J. And so for the cover of the book, I want to choose something that uh, explains that concept, or gives a nice visual to that concept. And so I am going to upload the same image that I used in my PowerPoint presentation where I had been presenting to customers online. Now I'm just going to use that as the cover of my book. And so here you see Hybrid X4J. Obviously it's going to be a bit bigger when it is it's fully blown up when they're looking at it on the interface. So for example, it will look like this. So when the customer goes into the collection, they will see right here, this is going to be the book cover. So the book cover requires me to name it, and so I'm going to put the name, Hybrid X4J, and then I'm going to input a description. And so, typically we already have those. Oh, typing on the wrong thing. So something just to describe the book. So simply the most comfortable stretch technology. Um, Fantastic. Recovery. So I'm just going to do stuff that I feel like will give the customer a good idea of the unique features of this particular concept that I am promoting in this book. And then I will put the person that they can contact in order to learn more about this. And now I'm going to put this as in development because I'm still creating this book. Once I'm ready for the book to be public, I can change the status to public, and that will allow all customers to see the fabrics within this book. Now I can put my company address. Either I can put a specific address, I can put my address if this is something I want them to contact me directly, or I can just put the company address, which will If you just check that box, it'll pull from the information you previously uploaded into the company profile. So then I hit OK. See, it's updating. Okay, and so now I have my book. So I'm going to click on that book, and I'm going to open. Now I have the option here to add existing materials or to add new materials. What I'm going to do is I am going to add new materials into this book. So the first thing I'll do, and now there's a separate video where you can do a mass upload of materials. So for example, there is if you're adding multiple materials over here, it will give you an Excel form and you can fill out like, as many as like 20 materials at a time and upload them. And you just have to go back and attach the media files to those materials. The one thing that we cannot do in mass upload is mass upload photos. So that's something we're working on, but you will, if you do a mass upload, you'll have to go back and add the photos to each material. Another thing that we are in the process of and should hopefully be ready by October is making sure that when we create, so this is again the Kingpins Exchange interface. So here you have the book. When you click on the book, we are going to have a collection video. At the moment, there is no place to upload the collection video, but we are working on adding that feature. So stay tuned for that. So this is going to be the Kingpins Exchange, and this is how a book is going to look. And you can see there are multiple fabrics under the book. And then you'll be able to play a video explaining that concept, or however, whatever video you want to include. But for right now, we don't have the video feature, and so I'm gonna show you how to add a new material. So we click on Add, and then we click on New Material, and it will bring us, now again, we're doing a single material at a time. There's a separate video on doing multiple materials. So the first thing we have to do is choose material type, and we will choose denim. For Kingpins Exchange, we should always choose denim, even if it's a PFD or if we're selling a piece dye. We are going to add a material thumbnail. So let's find a good image of a thumbnail. So the material we'll be adding is RA4167A-25. Now, the way I like to add, the way I feel is best to illustrate fabrics is to show a garment sample if possible, along with a hanger. So I'll show you what that image looks like that I prefer to use for a thumbnail. It shows a relatively high resolution photo for of the garment on a white background, along with a hanger that shows the multiple washdowns of that fabric. I don't think that a thumbnail close-up of a denim fabric is a compelling way to sell. So I always want to include a garment and washdowns if possible. If a garment is not available, I think showing hangers is another good way to go. One of the things with the thumbnail on this thumbnail is we have to resize it because the material thumbnail I believe only allows 200. So we'll make a copy of this. resize it so it can fit in the thumbnail. So we go to image size, just size, and I believe if we go to 320 by 320, that should get us the right size. And that will just be the thumbnail. We'll include a higher resolution photo later. So I'm going to now find that and upload it. So let me see. Where would that be? And I'm going to resize it. Crop it. Crop. And now we have our material thumbnail. Now I'm going to put my material name. And what I like to do for the material name, because there is currently we're working on the filtering options for searching for materials, but it's nice to put a little descriptor, so we can say a super or an ultra stretch X with authentic. We can either put the price in, so let's say it's $4, $4.25. We choose our unit of measure, which is a yard or a meter. Or if we do not want to put in a price, we can put 0. And there will be a place to check. We're working on the update where we can say ask for a quote if there's a 0 price. But for now, we'll just say $4.25. And now this should just be your list price. Obviously, every customer will have a different price, and this is just for that initial quote. So now material description. So here we can just put a little bit more about the denim. Super stretch. I'm sorry, I keep going super stretch. We can go ultra stretch denim with authentic character. Let's say for a soft. Now I'm just gonna put what I think will be compelling and useful for the customer when they're looking at this material. Most of this stuff will be duplicated when I'm actually putting in the attributes, but this is just kind of my more like marketing pitch on this for this material. Okay, and now I can add an external link. For example, if I wanted to link this up to the fiber marketing page of X4J, because if I think that's something that's helpful, I will go to X4J, Lubrizol. I'll do a quick search on that, and I can link this so the buyer can learn more about X4J right there. Now, if I was going to do a promotional video, I could, this is, back to that where we're going to add it on the collection page. We're going to add a promotional video, but we can also add a video on the fabric page. So let's just put in that video about the X4J where I have our creative director talking about X4J. And it's as simple as going to YouTube, getting the URL. And I've got that. So now the customer can see a description of that technology. Okay, so now we're going to go into, oh, here's the ask for quote button. So if we wanted to put a 0, here's where we would check the ask for quote. So we're going to put the country of origin. We can speed through these. These are all very self-explanatory. Now, material optional countries of origin, this is if you can create this in more than one country. So we can also create this in China. Supplier material ID, so this is a required field, and now here is where I would strictly use the reference code that the mill uses to identify that material. We don't need to put the supplier article name again, but if there is a supplier name, like if you name your fabrics as well as give them reference numbers, you could put that number. So let's just say the name is Marley. I personally don't use the physical sample book info fields. I maybe would put season, so let's just say fall 21, although I don't really create sample books. So this would be to reference if the customer actually had a physical sample book to reference where this fabric could be found. But for my mills, I don't provide sample books. Okay, so now we're going to put dye stuff. So this is a pure indigo. This is where I'm going to my, whatever presentation format I've had in the past where I talk about the key items of this fabric, and I'm going to pull that information off that. So it is a pure indigo. It lives within the, I would say, the dark indigo family. The marketing color that we call this is Eden Blue. That's the mill's name for this color. It's a 45 lead time for production. Sampling, let's just say it's 35 days. The unit of measure that we're doing all this by is yards. The minimum quantity, let's just say, is 10,000 yards. The minimum sample quantity is 50 yards. I am not going to fill in the RMB price because I do not know that. Now we're going to go into the material type. So this is a denim. Obviously, if it was a PFD or a piece dye, we could put that, or knit, but it is a denim. Fiber content. So now I'm going to put in the fiber content. So again, just to tie it back to what the customer is seeing, this is where they're going to see. We're putting all the details to create this this slide. We're uploading those into the platform right now. So I'm going to put the yarn, the fiber content. Obviously, the chief is cotton. It's BCI cotton. We're going to put that at 75%. We're going to polyester. It's using Unify Reprieve, so we can put that, and that's 11%. It has, let's just say it has Tencel, and that is another 11%. And then it has 3% polyurethane. So now I have my content. You can see that it sums up at 100%. Weaving type, this would be a 3x1 right hand. It's quite simple. Yarn type, it is a ring. So warp is ring spun and weft is ring spun. The width of measurement is going to be inches. The full width on this is going to be 52 inches. The cuttable is going to be 50. The weight we're going to measure in ounces. The before wash weight is 10.6, and the after wash weight is 11.5. The indigo dyeing process, this is going to be a rope dye. So we can skip the non-indigo types. The finishing, we can choose several finishing. There should be, this is mercerized. You see all the other ones that we have here. Just put that. And we can put any other finishing types. Printing method, it's not a print. And now we have the metrics that are specific to stretch denims. So 47, the recovery is a 94 recovery. Sorry. And the growth is a 3% growth. Shrinkage, we would just indicate on the warp shrinkage, the weft shrinkage. And let's just say it's our 8. And so now we can add any additional photos that we would like. So add detail shots. So I think it's good to highlight, things like how it destructs, how it shows maybe at the pocketing area, how it takes grinding. And then, we can show another sample. So you can see here, and you can change that to assign as material thumbnail if you wish. Basically, you're just going to add all the photos you think are helpful. 3D documents, right now, I don't have any 3D documents, but we can definitely do a video for those who want to add 3D documents. Testing reports, we can add testing reports here by just dragging, browsing, and selecting. And those are not required though. And then we can just save. Now we get to choose whether we want this to be group exclusive. And that's where we could assign a group to see that. Right now we'll just put no. And we see that material was successfully added to the book. So when we click on that and we open that, we can scroll through the different images of it. And then we have the promotional video, we have the description, we have the link that you can go to. See ask for quote, see all of the details that we input. Now, this is how it shows up in the supplier's view. The way it will show up in the Kingpins Exchange, which will be accessed by customers, will be in this format. And they'll have the same ability to go to different images and check out all of the key stats on this fabric. So now we can go back to my books. And we can see that quality is in the book. That's it. Now, if we want